Oh, they might want to see you. He's got a haircut, didn't shave. No, that's fine. Hang tight, someone should admit you shortly. This is already better than what you saw last time, right?
Yeah.
I'll check back in a moment. I'll be curious to see how many are there too. How many people are interested.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning. Thank you guys for joining us today. So, real quick housekeeping things. I'm going to
Yes,
go
hi.
ahead and place you guys all on mute. Just for the time being, there is sometimes a little bit of feedback that goes through some cameras as well as some mics. To save everyone's ears, I'm going to go ahead and place you guys on mute for the duration of this program. Again, real quick, my name is Nathaniel Lake. I'm the or one of the admissions counselors for the ATDM program. Um, we'll go ahead and get started shortly as people are entering in. We do have a big group today, so to say, hopefully answer everyone's question, get to everyone, and make sure we get all that information out there. I'll try to get through the program as quickly as informative as possible. as well as answering all your questions at the end. Sometimes, again, just a real quick housekeeping thanks. Sometimes technology isn't always our friend. So again, I did say someone can't hear me. I do apologize. Sometimes technology doesn't always work in our favor. Um, so I would recommend either turning up if you guys can all hear me. Great. If not, I do apologize. Sometimes technology doesn't work for us. If you can see the information, great. You can type in the chat if you do have any questions at the end as well. But real quick, as people are still coming in, we'll give them a few more minutes. For those who are just now joining us, just going to go ahead and place you all on mute just for the time being until we get through the entire session. Again, there is quite a bit of people on the call today, so we want to make sure we get everyone's answers or questions answered, and then we'll get through the call. So also, wanted to real quick, a lot of you did reach out regarding our president passing, Jimmy Carter. Our thoughts and are with his family and friends during this time of mourning. So we did want to just take note of that. Did not want to cancel today's session, but just wanted to make sure we all address that and take note for the time being. So again, if you can't hear me, I do apologize. It doesn't always work. Technology isn't always in our favor, but try to see if you can fiddle with it a little bit, see if you can hear me. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started and get through this program. All right. And so, ATDM. What is ATDM's mission? The mission is to train the nation's workforce in critical skills to make an immediate impact in the USA's defense industrial base. Overview of the program provides employers with entry-level skilled workers that focus on submarine and shipbuilding. It's a Department of Defense funded program that is supported by the Navy and supports workforce needed for the constructing the 1 Columbia-class and 2 Virginia-class submarines annually. Tuition currently is at no cost, and a scholarship is provided for an apartment in a downtown Danville area with all utilities and Wi-Fi included. The program is 4 months long, 8 hours per day, and 5 days a week. It is located in Danville, Virginia, and it's an intense accelerate training program that does have schedules on the first, second, and third shift. I will answer all questions at the end, so I do. If you want to go ahead, lower your hand for now, and then I'll answer all questions at the end. And so what is the ATDM program? Again, just a bit of an overview. It's an accelerated training program that's 4 months long, 16 weeks. You have 8 hours a day and 5 days a week. It's the equivalent of getting a 1-year certificate program in 4 months. The reason being, it's an industry-tailored curriculum that specifically meets requirements in the sectors of the submarine, or excuse me, of the maritime industrial base. It produces entry-level graduates with national certifications all across the U.S. And then it does, we target adult mature learners that are ready for a fast-paced training program in 5 program areas, which is additive manufacturing, CNC machining, non-destructive testing, quality control, otherwise known as metrology, and welding. And so program requirements, many of you have already read over this, but I just want to go ahead and do a quick review. You must be seeking employment in the defense industrial base. This specifically means that you're coming to the program with the knowledge of this program. Specifically drives people into the workforce to build ships and submarines for the U.S. Navy. This does not mean you have to actively be looking for jobs right now. It just means that you're coming to the program knowing that you are coming and wanting to actually build and get a job and land a job in the defense industrial base. So you don't have to be currently looking. It's not required right now to you to land a job. However, just knowing the knowledge, that's what you're coming into the workforce to doing and coming to the program to do. You have to be 18 years of older, and you have to have a high school diploma or have a GED. You also have to be a U.S. citizen or residing in the U.S. with a work visa allowing the person to live and work in the U.S. permanently. You can pass a drug screening and background check for entrance into the program, as well as for employment after the program is over. And then you have to have a competitive Wonderlic assessment, which most of you have already taken and scored through the assessment as well. And have access to the internet and email address to complete application materials and documents upon acceptance to the program. And be willing to relocate for the training, which again, the only training facility right now is in Danville, Virginia, and that's where you'll come for the 4 months. And then after the month or after the training program is over, to relocate possibly all across the U.S. So you may not end up back in the same state you're currently at. We do have a lot of partnerships all across the U.S. I'll show you a map about that a little bit later. However, you do have the opportunity to relocate all across the U.S. and just coming in the mindset, knowing that you may not go back to where you're currently living now is a great mindset to have when coming to the program. And so another employment requirements we do require students to be U.S. citizens without dual citizenship. So you cannot have a dual citizenship in these three program areas, which is non-destructive testing, quality control, metrology, and additive manufacturing. We found it talking with our employers that they are unable to hire students with these dual citizenships. However, you can have dual citizenship as well as a work visa in welding and CNC machining. So just give that more thought. If you haven't thought about that yet in your program area, these are also just to inform you that these help land you jobs at the end of the 4 months that you're here. And so required documents, most of you have sent your required documents in already, but again, this is just a reminder. You have to send one of the following documents in: your resume, your unofficial high school transcripts, your unofficial college or technical school transcripts. And if you're prior military, we do require DD-214. So that can be your required document if you're prior military. So that's the one. If you, again, prior military, please send in your DD-214. We do require that, along with any other following ones. So again, your resume, unofficial high school transcript, or unofficial college or technical school transcript. And this is just a short video just to talk more about the ATDM program.
Every testimony I've heard from industry partners that we've worked with is the best quality workers showing up on day one are from ATDM. The maturity levels are higher coming out of here. They know how to come to work on time. They know how to work hard, work together as a team, and repeat that day after day, which is what people struggle with in the industrial base sometimes. Not only that, the curriculum that ATDM built here is fabulous, right? It typically results in less than half the time to qualify at local company standards. People coming out of ATDM much more quickly up on the governor to be able to qualify on whatever our company standards are much faster than anybody they're pulling out of local career and technical education schools or off the streets.
And so let's get into our program. The first one we have coming up is additive manufacturing. Additive manufacturing is a process that uses 3D printing to create physical objects from a digital model. The process involves adding material and layers and using a fusion application, such as a heated printhead or laser, to bind layers. On each program area, or in each program area slide that you will have the certifications you can earn while in the program. They're followed at the bottom. You can take a quick screenshot, or you can find these online at atdm.org under classes as well. So just be mindful. Obviously, you're welcome to take a screenshot, but you can find those there as well. CNC machining is the next up, and CNC stands for Computer Numerical Control Machine. And CNC is a tool that conforms materials to a desired shape for parts and component requirements. CNC machines use pre-programmed software to control the movements of complex machinery, including grinders, lathes, mills, and other cutting tools used to remove material. These computer-aided manufacturing techniques can perform a wide range of complex and precise CNC machining tasks to create manufactured products and specifically designed parts for today's nuclear submarines. After that is non-destructive testing, or NDT, is a testing and analysis technique used by industry to evaluate the properties of a material, component, structure, or system for characteristics, differences, or welding defects and discontinuities, without causing damage to the original part. NDT is also known as non-destructive examination, non-destructive inspection, and non-destructive evaluation. NDT techniques include visual testing, ultrasonic testing, radiographic testing, magnetic particle testing, and liquid penetrator testing. Now, this is one program area that I do want to point out we don't offer certifications in. However, we offer hours. I don't want that to scare you away. We do have students who are hired from this program right into the workforce. The meaning is that we don't have certifications because you do need more on-the-job training for the specific career and the specific testing. So you do have to get a certain amount of hours in each testing area, and your employer knows that when they are hiring you. So let's say you are specifically looking, or they specifically want you to get visual testing hours. They'll help you and get those hours and get your level 1, level 2 certifications, getting that one specific training specifics. Also, I would like to point out in this non-destructive testing, you're unable to join and be a part of this I would say this career just because if you have color deficiencies. So you do have to be able to tell colors apart. In this, I believe it's the Sherman test. I could be saying that completely wrong. I do apologize, but you do have to be able to to tell solid colors apart. And so if you do have any color deficiencies, you may want to look at another program area that would be more up your speed, just because you do have to pass a color test or color deficiency test when you're in the program. So just some more information for you to consider if you're looking at this as well. Next up, quality control, otherwise known as metrology. And this is the scientific study of measurement. It involves both theoretical and practical aspects of measurement. The mission of metrology is to provide an accurate and reliable measurements for all types of industries, but is especially important in precision engineering, like submarine manufacturing, where products need to meet strict tolerances. And last up, we have welding. Welding is a process that unites multiple pieces of metal and thermoplastics or thermoplastic materials by skillfully melting and fusing them together, using energy sources ranging from gas flames, electric arcs, and precise lasers and powerful electron beams. This process plays an integral role in submarine manufacturing. And so cohort assignments. So many of you have already applied and have already sent in where you would like to go into that cohort. Many of you probably are April or May or July or August cohorts. Next up, after this program, after your interview, after your application process is done, if you've been accepted to the program, you will go on what we call our wait list. Our wait list involves you being that we don't have an assigned cohort start date for you yet. Currently, right now, we're bringing in our January cohort. Next up we have is April. April is filling up and with current students who are on the wait list as of right now. So that means if you are accepted to the program, your next step would be to complete a background check and drug screening. And during that time, after you pass both of those, background check and drug screening, you will still remain on our wait list until we have a signed cohort start date for you. You'll know when we have a start date because we'll share that information out. Until we do share that, you have been accepted to the program. However, we don't have an exact start date for you. We don't want to leave you out there in the gray for long. So we will kind of communicate that information whenever we do have that information. However, you've been accepted, you've been into the program, you passed everything you need to. Until we have an assigned start date for you, we'll let you know kind of where to expect to begin at the wait list. Again, if you do have questions regarding that after you've been accepted during that process, you can feel free to ask us during the interview process, which is the next step after this. But again, until after you've been accepted, and until we have an assigned start date for you, you will go and remain on our wait list until a start date comes up. And typically, it won't be the day before class starts or the week before. We do like to notify you well in advance, meaning 2 months in advance if we can at the earliest, so that way you can prepare yourself to come to the program. Excuse me, it's been a long day checking students in. And so the next up we have is obviously the main reason a lot of people are coming to this program is to be a part of our job placement or career services. So we do have career services, and this map is a representation of all the partnerships we do have all across the US that we have sent students to before. This is just a map to get you an idea of where you could possibly land to after the program is over, as well as where you might relocate to, where you are looking around these areas. There's more resources that we'll provide during the program, but this is just another resources to let you know exactly where you possibly could land. The blue stars are going to be our organic and industrial base. So this is going to be your bases, your actual Navy or submarine bases. And then this is the SIB and DIB are going to be industries that are contractors that build and make ships for the U.S. Navy. So these are parts specifically that are contracted out. And so these are employers and companies that have contracts with the U.S. Navy. And so they're building specific parts or any kind of information for the Navy, excuse me. And so another added bonus for this program is that what we have is called a career fair. And so that's where we bring in companies that are actively looking for jobs that we are training for. And we host them here for the day, and you have the opportunity to talk with them, possibly do interviews, and more kind of connections like that. So this is an example of it. I'm going to play this quick video and kind of provide some more information.
The way I learned about ATDM, being a veteran, we have the Skill Bridge program. So it releases us from military service for 6 months to go do schooling, internship, something like that to help better ourselves and to get us prepared for the civilian world. All this is completely new. I know nothing about this, so it's very exciting. I love coming in to work on the machines. I'm here 30 minutes to an hour early some days, just because I'm so excited to come on in.
It's a 4-month program instead of 2 years, so it takes a lot of less time out of your life and out of your career. And I get all the basic certs that I need to go anywhere with that.
It's a good experience. It's something different. And you get a job after you leave this program, which is the best thing right now for all of us.
The curriculum is spot on. It opened up my eyes to many areas that I didn't even consider before I got here.
This helps us bring qualified machinists and get them going, running our CNC machines to manufacture some of the valves that we make for the Navy. Within 16 weeks of training, they come out as a third-class machinist already. So we brought them back and then we've put them through a qualification program to see that they are qualified to be a third-class machinist already. So they can actually start running our CNC machines before, as soon as they come out of this program.
Most exciting is definitely meetings like this, where I get to meet face-to-face with a lot of employers that are employing people all across the world, not just in Danville, not just in Virginia, all across the world. I don't think I would get this opportunity anywhere else, and I'm really thankful for it.
And so we do have resources to help you kind of start making a decision or kind of help you lead down a path of where program area you would like to go into. So one of these resources is what many of you may already know is buildsubmarines.com. It's a great resource just to see what's out there currently, who's hiring in the areas that they're hiring in, meaning that you can break this down into program area that we do offer using keywords as well as states that are currently out there as well. And the next resource we do have is our partnerships. So our program partners are found online, and that's going to be current partners that we already have sent students to previously. So this is a great resource to see what may be around your area, as well as what may be in your state or where you possibly want to relocate to after the program is over. So these are companies that you could look up, see what's out there, and see that information possibly where you can go to after the program is over. So buildsubmarines.com, great resource to see what's out there. You can look up by our program area specifically, as well as states. And then our other resources is going to look over the our companies that we're currently participating with that we've already sent students to and we continue to work with in the future. And so to talk more about this is one of the partnerships we do have. And so I'll go ahead and play this video.
We decided to partner with atdm because it was an opportunity for us to decrease our time to talent. It would help us to get workers through our training and qualification program more quickly. It also provided us with a population of employees that had the skill sets that we were needing to employ. The atdm program is a game changer, and it's a game changer in that we are getting students that are getting skills specifically in the areas that we need them to get skills.
And so more program specifics. We do have an attendance policy. With it being such a rigorous program, we need you in the classroom. So it's on a 6-point scale, with 1 point being for a tardy and 2 points being for a missed class. We do have exceptions to this. We understand life happens, people get sick. So you do have the opportunity, if you do have a doctor's note, you can provide us with that doctor's note, and then we'll be able to kind of excuse that absence. But we want to make sure that, you get better and then you get back into class, as well as life situations. We understand life happens, things come up, you need to deal with them. Talk with your instructor, talk with our support staff here, so that way they can communicate you as well as provide you that best information, so that way they can get you back on track to where you need to go and making sure that you can pass the program no matter what happens. However, if you do miss a maximum of 6 days, whether they are excused or not, you will be dismissed from the program because you're too far behind to catch up. So it is a rigorous program. There is a lot of information, as well as we want to make sure that obviously you get everything you need. That includes certifications. So if you do miss a total of 6 days, you are unfortunately dismissed from the program. However, there are student holidays where things come up. They're already built into the program area. Or already into the program cohort that you're coming into. And so these student holidays, or let's say there are 3-day weekends every 2 weeks. And so these are just a Monday or a Friday that you do have the opportunity to just have an extra day off. It's a rigorous program. This is a great opportunity to see if you need to schedule tutoring or if you need to just go see family. If obviously things come up, we want to make sure this is an opportunity for you to handle those things. So these are already built in, let's say 3-day weekends. And so we'll send that schedule out whenever you're onboarding, getting ready to come to the program. And so that way you can kind of know exactly what to expect when you're here. And so to talk a little bit more about that would be the rigor of the program. And so it's to mentally prepare yourself for 4 months of fast paced training. So you're going to learn something new. I wouldn't say almost every day, but you're going to learn something new almost every single day. And so just find some downtime for yourself, making sure that you are mentally and physically prepared each and every day for to learn something new. And so you do have to maintain a 70% or better grade in the class. And this is maintained through our Canvas, which is our learning management tool. This is online, so this is something that you can track yourself as well. And so if you do have any questions, you'll be familiarize yourself with that when you're getting ready to come to the program. We do require OSHA 10 in all areas except, or excuse me, OSHA 10 general in all areas except for welding. We do require OSHA 10 there. However, it's OSHA 10 construction. So this is something that you can take during the onboarding process. We'll send that link out so you can take it virtually. And so that way you don't have to worry about taking that. If you're accepted to the program, obviously that will come after acceptance. And so we will send that as a requirement. You do have to complete that. If you do already have it, that's perfectly fine. It just has to be within the last 3 years of your cohort start date. So if you already have OSHA 10, OSHA 30, that's great. As long as it's in the prospective area, which means OSHA 10 construction for welding. If you do have OSHA 10 or OSHA 30 construction for welding, great. Just have it be within the last 3 years of your start date. And then the next upcoming cohorts, these are the next cohorts that we're currently actively trying to fill right now, which is our April 7th cohort, our May 29th, our July 14th, and our August 18th. So those are the next cohort start dates we're actively looking to fill. I would like to point out that not all areas are going to be offered at that time. For our first one, it's going to be our April 7th cohort. So the next one coming up is AM, which is additive manufacturing, CNC machining, non-destructive testing, and welding. The one after that is going to be our May 29th, which is just CNC machining, quality control, and welding. The next one after that is just going to be our welding program. And then August comes back around with additive manufacturing, CNC machining, quality control, and non-destructive testing. I also would like to point out, if you're interested in additive manufacturing, unfortunately, we do have a bit of a wait time for that program area. We do see it exceeding the fall of 2025 going into 2026, so meaning that you're more than likely going to start at the beginning of 2026 if you are accepted to that program area. There are other options, and if you are interested in another program, that could be something to consider because it is a bit of a wait time. So again, just consider something else that if you're looking for additive manufacturing, it is a bit of a wait time. So if you have another program, make sure you just take that into consideration. Also, our program shift times. We do operate in shifts, and these are your training shifts. They will not change the duration of the program. And so right now we only have two programs that are operating on all 3 shifts. And so that is going to be welding, CNC machining, and welding and CNC machining operate on all 3 shifts, which is from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. is our first shift. Second shift is from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And third shift is from 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Currently, right now, only additive manufacturing, quality control, and non-destructive testing operate on our first shift. So just keep that in mind when coming to the program, and we will remind you of these during your interviews as well if you do have questions. So just more information for you to know. And next, next up, we do have student support services. One being transportation to and from the training site. We do provide training to and from, or excuse me, transportation to and from your training site, meaning your housing to the training facility. You can bring your own vehicle. Parking at the apartment building and the training facility is completely free. However, you do have to provide your own transportation to Danville. So for check-in, when you're getting ready to come to the program, just going to let you know you do have to find your own way to Danville to come to the program if you are accepted. So just keep that in mind. When you're getting ready to come, you have to find your own way here. If you need information about local transportation, we'll be happy to give that information to help make that decision easier. Everything is covered through tuition, which includes the scholarship tuition as well as the housing for the 4 months, which includes rent and Wi-Fi. I'll go on that a little bit later. But the only major out-of-pocket cost is going to be the food for the 4 months that you're in the program. Obviously, that is a big ask, and food for the 4 months is a lot to think about. We do have food resources here that if you do find yourself having some food insecurity, reach out to our student support staff. They'll be able to help you, kind of guide you, and give you that information to access those resources if you do need them. So that's something to think about, obviously, to come to the program, but just want to make sure you do know we do have resources in place that if you do need to access that, you can do so. As well as tutoring. So we understand it's a very fast-paced program. There's a lot going on, and it may be moving a little bit faster than what's expected. That's okay. And so we do have resources in place to help with tutoring. Obviously, that's something that you need to talk with your instructor or technician about, but make sure you talk with them because they're the best people to ask, if you do need help and how to get that help efficiently. And with career services, you will meet with them one-on-one to talk with more about your resume, your interview skills, as well as what you can do to kind of market yourself better. So you will have the opportunity to meet with your career service coach, and so you do have the opportunity to kind of ask them any kind of questions you can on how you can make yourself better whenever you're coming to the program. And so again, lastly, this program is a teamwork. Manufacturing requires a team from those within your program to outside your program. We want you to be successful in the program. You obviously coming to the program want to be successful. And so we're going to be in this together with, seeing you walk across this stage to actually seeing you land a job. And so just keep that in mind that we're all wanting to be successful in the program and make sure that we're all successful at the end. And so these are just some estimated costs of the program. You do, if you do choose to drive, you have the 40 miles per week that you will put on your car, depending on, obviously it will change on how much you drive as well as how little you drive. So that is completely up to you. And the estimated cost per week for groceries is $120 per week. Again, that is based on what you consume, where you shop at, and other resource or other variables that you can consider. So it can vary, but just obviously keep that in mind. These are just estimated costs. And so if you do need resources if you do need insurance for the 4 months, that's not something we provide. However, we do have that resource in place that if that's something you need to utilize, whenever you're in the program, we can talk more about that and getting you those resources as well. And housing. Housing is completely covered through a scholarship, and that includes utilities, rent, and Wi-Fi. It's a scholarship that's automatically awarded to you. That's anything you'll need to apply for, or anything separate in the application process is something that if you're accepted to the program, it's automatically awarded. That doesn't mean it will be transferred to you. It's just that everything is covered. Again, it is located in Danville, Virginia. You do have the possibility of having a roommate in a 2-bedroom apartment. It'll be shared living space, but actually your bedrooms will be separate. So again, shared living space, that includes your kitchen, living room, and your bathroom. But you will have your own bedroom. If parking is free on the ILR campus, that's where the ATDM program is located at. And then obviously we do have the opportunity to pay for parking if you do want an assigned parking spot, if you do choose to drive your own car. But on campus, you do have the opportunity to park for free. And so if there are any specific housing needs that you do need to require of us, be sure you share that in the interview process, as well as whenever you're getting ready to come, to assure that we do have that information. If you don't share with us, we'll never know. So we want to make sure we get you everything you need, or we can accommodate everything you need to do. So we'll do our best to accommodate it. We just have to know of that information ahead of time. And rooming and shift assignments will be provided 1 week prior to check-in. This does not include your housing information, meaning that does not include your address. You will get your address and all that information and keys whenever you're in here or coming for check-in and checked into the program. However, if you do have a rooming assignment, meaning that if you do have a roommate or if you do have a shift assignment, we'll send that information out to you in an email 1 week prior to your coming to the program. Again, parking is free, and then currently the only animals we are allowing to stay in housing are service animals and emotional support animals. More documentation will be needed just to verify that information, as well as make sure they're approved. However, no pets other than service animals or emotional support animals will be allowed in housing. So just keep that in mind when coming to the program. If you do have pets, you may need to find somewhere to house them for the 4 months. And currently, if you are living within 50 miles of Danville, you are unable to access or utilize housing for within 50 miles. So just keep that in mind again, whenever you are, if you are living within 50 miles, just keep that in mind that you may have to drive to the program, which it typically isn't too far. And what's housing equipped with? So you do have a bed, and that includes a headboard and box spring and a queen mattress. You do have a dresser, nightstand, mirror, and lamp in your bedroom. The living room will have either a sofa or love seat, coffee table, or lamp. And in the kitchen, you will have a refrigerator, kitchen table with 2 chairs, dishwasher, microwave, washer, dryer, oven or stove top. stovetop. Goodness gracious, Nate. And so you do have the opportunity to have all these in your apartment, and so you will have to bring other items with you as well. You don't need to jot this list down. We will send this out if you are accepted during the onboarding process whenever you're getting ready to come. We'll send this information out as well. If you want to take a quick screenshot, you're more than welcome to. But obviously, whenever you're getting ready to go, we'll share this information again, so that way you can go ahead and have this information with you in hand. And so these are just examples of one of the apartment buildings that we do have. At the top right, that's outside of the building. They're old tobacco warehouses. So they've been renovated to 1 to 2 bedroom apartments, so that, again, you'll have the opportunity to stay there, again, either with a roommate or without one. And then so just to move on, Danville is going to be home for the 4 months. We want to make sure this is home for the 4 months. We want you to feel at home, not just only in the housing, not only at ATDM, but all around the community. So there's lots to do, lots to go out and do, depending on what time frame you come to the program with us during the summer, winter, fall, spring. We just want to make sure you go out into the community and make this your home for the 4 months you're with us, and just go out and experience what Danville has to offer, as well as the surrounding areas. And so, big question, what is next? So the next step in this process is going to be interviewing with myself or Bruce Hughes, the other admissions advisor for the ATDM program. And so within 24 hours of this session, you will receive an email from us to schedule an interview with myself or Bruce. This is based off of your program area. If you are interested in more than one program area, that's perfectly fine. Well, you can schedule one interview with us, and so you don't need to schedule multiple interviews. All you have to do is schedule one. We'll talk with you and have you select one program area. You're only allowed to select one program area. You cannot do multiple. And so if you need further conversations, that's perfectly fine. Just select one program that you're most interested in, and myself or Bruce are able to talk to you about all program areas. And so after your interview, your application will be sent over for review to our review panel. And then after the review panel, we'll get a decision back, and we'll send that out through email. During your interview, we'll be able to talk to you about all program areas if you're interested in, as well as any kind of information you may need at that time to help you make a decision. But you only, again, have to schedule one interview. Let's say if you're interested in additive or welding or both, that's perfectly fine. Just schedule that one interview, and we'll be able to talk with you then. So again, within 24 hours of this email or of this session, you'll receive an email from us to schedule an interview. And so the next step is we have our questions portion. And so at this time, to mark as your attendant for today's meeting, if you could, go ahead and write your first and last name in the chat for me, so that way you can mark your attendant as today's meeting. If you're unable to, that's perfectly fine. Sometimes the chat isn't always accessible. During this time, you can raise your hand, and I'll go ahead and call on you, and just to ensure that we have you here marked as attended for today's meeting. So to ask for questions, you can ask them in the chat as well. However, you can also raise your hand using the icon either above or below me, and raise your hand. I'll call on you one by one, so that way we can ensure we answer all questions when we get to you guys, in order. So if you like, you can use the icon to raise your hand. Starting now, happy to answer any questions you have. As I see people going ahead and putting their name in the chat, which is perfect. You can go ahead and ask questions in there as well. Bruce and other admissions team staff is going to be here to help you answer those questions in the chat as well. So if you have any questions, go ahead and raise your hand, and I'm happy to answer them at this time. Yes, David. David McKenty?
Yeah, sorry, I had to unmute. So you said that housing, etc., would be provided automatically, right?
If you're accepted to the program,
Right.
yes. So that is, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Just checking.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Stephen Pope?
Yes. So say the food cost, that's probably going to be my biggest hurdle. Would you be able to apply for EBT in like Virginia or something like that, since you're going through the program? Would that be an option to get food resources?
So I don't want to lie to you and say that is an option. We have had students do that before. It is an option. However, it's sometimes some people have been denied before as well. You can always apply
Right.
and always,
Okay.
always try. That is a resource that students have used in the past. However, it's not always guaranteed. So it is an option. However, it's not always guaranteed.
Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Is it Dylan?
Yeah, I was just curious, for the shift assignments, is that something we'd be able to, if our cohort lines up with it, is that something we'd be able to pick which shift and potentially, I don't know, like part-time job if that allows it in the meantime?
So,
Like the morning shift, pick up like a part-time job in the evening.
so you can pick up a part-time job. It is you can. However, the shift assignments aren't. You can't select your shift assignment. So, unfortunately, it is based off of when you get your onboarding document done. So, as soon as you get your onboarding work, you go ahead and get that information done as soon as possible. So that way you can go ahead and get. Basically, it's first come, first serve. So, as long as you get your information in, as long as you get everything assigned in, you can go ahead and that's when you'll be assigned. You will find out that information a week prior. So if you are looking to get a part-time job, which is great, there's a lot of opportunity for part-time work around the Danville community. You can go ahead and start looking at jobs there. But as if you are interested in, let's say, non-destructive testing, quality control, additive manufacturing, as of right now, the only option is going to be the first shift.
Okay, sweet. Thank you, Nathaniel.
Absolutely. Is it Jorge?
Yes, sir. Nathaniel,
Mhm.
I haven't submitted. I submitted my resume, and it was through an email composed,
Perfect.
and Mr. Hughes is telling me to send it an attachment. I'll do it by tonight.
Okay.
The sending the attachment for my resume. Thank you, Nathaniel.
Perfect. Yeah. If it's probably just because we couldn't access it or see it, and attachments work best for us, so that way we can attach it to your file. So as long as you do that, that's perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you. Uh, Peter Fuchs.
Hi, I wanted to know, when do you know who are you guys going to accept to the program?
Thank you, Greg. So we'll let you know that after the interview, and we'll send that email out. So we'll go with that in the interview during that process. We'll let you know that. Yes, Peter.
I messed up everything.
Am I unmiked?
Yes, you are.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yep.
cool. That's just not working great for me. If you could mark me as here.
Gotcha.
Thank you.
No problem. Is it Tanisha Walker?
It's Tynesha. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. My question is, you mentioned relocation with some of the companies. I was just
Mhm.
wondering, do they provide relocation assistance?
So there is relocation assistance with us specifically. If the company does not offer relocation assistance, we do have a very limited funds of relocation assistance. It's first come first serve in that aspect of each cohort that's set aside. That's something more we can get into obviously later down the line. But there is relocation assistance. This covers maybe a U-Haul. I know some covers. I don't want to lie to you. Say it covers first month's rent or deposit. It covers either one of those two. It doesn't cover both. Or it may cover a U-Haul. So it's one of those three options. But again, some companies do offer relocation assistance, and they'll let you know after talking with them, after signing on. They may give a sign-on bonus along those lines for relocation assistance.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Yes, Lauren Rice.
Wait,
Lauren, can you hear me? I seen you on the. Yep, now we got you.
Okay, sorry. I wanted to ask if we have any assignments outside of the class, like in the apartment we'd have to do after.
Yeah, so it just depends on the program area. Obviously, welders, you can take home homework assignments with the welding booth. So if you're interested in like quality control, they may have some take home homework because a lot of that does involve a lot of math as well as a lot of kind of hands-on written information. So it just depends on exactly the program and then exactly how well you guys are developing in the classroom. So not a lot of it is going to be a take-home homework or anything you'll have to take with you, but there is a possibility that you'll have to have some. Again, is based off of the program and then how well you guys are adapting to the actual material.
Okay, thank you. So also, would there be any benefit if you already have like some experience?
You'll be able to maybe pick up on things quicker. However, as far as getting further ahead, there's no kind of benefit in that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So I know there's questions in the chat. Um, so I know they're going through it right now. So no worries. Want to provide the opportunity if anybody wants to ask a question, go ahead and do so. Happy to answer any questions. But if not, and you would like to kind of just email us, that is perfectly fine as well. Perfectly fine as well. Excuse me. We've had students checking in today. I've been talking all day long, so I do apologize for my miswords. But want to say, go ahead. I put admissions@atdm.org in the chat. That is our email that you can reach out to the admissions team. If you do have any questions, we're happy to talk with you, answer your questions if you'd like to ask more personal. But you will receive an email within 24 hours from us with from that email with your interview. So schedule a link. I know we're booked for the rest of this week, but there are other opportunities next week that are open. So be on the lookout for that. If you don't receive it within 24 hours, that means around 4 o'clock today or tomorrow, excuse me, reach out to us so that way we can go ahead and get you that link and get you scheduled in. At this time, if you have no further questions, I don't want to keep you guys here. Just want to say thank you so much for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you guys, talking with you all soon. So if you don't have any other questions, you're free to go and look forward to talking to you guys soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. No problem.
Thank you, Nathaniel.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. All right. So I'm assuming if you are still here and you have questions, great. Happy to answer them. I know they're still answering some in the chat. So if you do have any, feel free to unmute and ask. I'm happy to call on you if you want to raise your hand too as well. So if not, I'll give it a few more minutes and I'll let you guys go for the evening. Yes, Bryson. I think that's Bryson. Okay, so I saw your hand raised, but I guess it could be a technology issue. No worries. Sometimes technology doesn't always work.
Awesome. This is Dominic Bazan. I just wanted to ask to make sure that you're able to get my attendance. I'm not like verified or anything like that on the Microsoft Teams.
Gotcha. I'll go ahead and make sure we got your name written down.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
Absolutely. All right, Bryson, if you want, you can still ask your question in our admissions email. Just go ahead and email us your question. Happy to answer them, or you can wait for our interview that we can go ahead and make sure we get your question answered. But it does look like all questions are getting answered in the chat. Real quick, I do see from Taekwon Rogers, you do not have to be in the military to be in the program. We accept everyone well, we don't accept everyone. We welcome everyone to apply for the program, military or not, civilian. So if you are prior military, great. If not, still, we welcome anybody to apply for the program. But it looks like all other questions have been answered. I don't know if they haven't, great. If not, again, you're free to go. Just want to say thank you guys for joining us today. And I'll go ahead and sign off.
Awesome. Thank you, sir. You have a good day.
Thank you. You as well. All right. You guys have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you there. We'll see you later.